To the governor of Kyiv. Sergiy Kruglyk joins me live from Kyiv. He's the advisor to the governor of Kyiv and he's given us his time. Sergiy, good to see you. You're on the streets of Kyiv right now. There is supposed to be a ceasefire, Sergiy, in Kyiv. Is it in operation?
Yes.
What is the situation in the city right now?
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to say that I'm not in Kyiv. I'm in Lviv. It's western part of Ukraine. Unfortunately, I cannot go back to Kyiv because the militaries and armament Russian troops are staying on the way to Kyiv, so I cannot go back. I'm working here in Lviv, and as you see, it's thousands and thousands of people. They left their own homes and they're going further to the west, to Poland, to Europe, other European countries. There's a railway station, main Lviv railway station, and thousands of people are waiting possibility to get on the train or on the bus. We have the buses, trains, and private cars to go further. It's the first thing. As to the Kyiv, in Kyiv, still situation under control, even with the missiles, 10 times minimum a day, missiles from Russian troops. We have our defenders to shooting missiles, and now I can tell one thing: do not trust any word of Russians. They lie all the time. So first we agreed about ceasefires for the humanitarian people, in giving possibility to go out of Mariupol and Kharkov and other city, and then they start shooting on civilians. It's awful. It's a criminals. It's genocide of Ukrainian people, and Putin and the whole government and the whole political government of Russia lying all the time to everybody. They closed all the TV lines. They closed all internet. No Facebooks, no TikToks, no Telegram, nothing. They isolated themselves, and the people still believe that they have a kind of operation. It's a war. It's a war in Ukraine, and already 1.2 million left their own homes, and they immigrated to Europe, to different European countries, mostly in Poland. But from other side, Russians, they don't say their own people, about more than 11,000 Russian soldiers that already died near the Kyiv, Mariupol, Kharkov, Zaporozhye, Chernihiv, Sumy, and other cities. More than 11,000 Russian soldiers already died, and their mothers, they don't know where their sons are today, because Russia completely isolated, and they don't say a word about this war to their own people. We have to stop these criminals. First of all, we need to close the sky over Ukraine that protects airway, to stop bombing. We have bombing of the cities every day. We have missiles shooting at our civilians in our cities every day. So we have to close the sky. We have to push all the government of European countries, of NATO, United States, and other influence government to close the sky and to help Ukraine to protect themselves and to defend themselves. It's now we defending not only our victory, our freedom, we defending democracy and freedom of all Europeans and all over the world.
Sergiy, what is the situation in Kyiv right now? You are in Lviv. You are unable to get back to Kyiv because the place has been blocked off by Russian forces. We've been reporting from places like Irpin and Hostomel, where the attacks have been taking place pretty much non-stop. There is a view that the Russians are very close to Kyiv and they might surround Kyiv very soon. Is that what is going to happen?
No. Kyiv will never surround. We have very good soldiers. They're preparing to defend our city, to defend our capital. Unfortunately, villages and cities are already under the not control, but they were occupied by the Russian militaries. But believe me, Kyiv will defend, they will protect themselves. And very soon, I hope, with the closing sky, because Kyiv now defending only missiles, air missiles, and our military is working very good. They're shooting aircraft and they're shooting air missiles, including missiles that banned by all organizations, by Geneva and by international organizations. They try to bomb Kyiv, but fortunately for Kyiv, we have only single cases of air missiles getting not military, but target civilian houses.
Sergey, if you can still hear me, Vitaly Klitschko, who is the mayor of Kyiv, he's in the city. We've seen him out there as well, the mayor of Kyiv. What is he doing? What is his role right now? We do know he's been very visible through this entire and giving out messages. Tell us what's happening with Mayor Klitschko.
Okay, together with the military head of the city, Mayor Klitschko coordinated the whole work of the Kyiv city. Kyiv working even under the military aggressions of Russians. So the enterprise is working. They're preparing to defend Kyiv. They're having the block posts. They're preparing all kind of protections to protect the city from Russian aggressions. And he is coordinating this job together with the military head of Kyiv, and his brother Vladimir Klitschko is also there. They're receiving some humanitarian and some good technical equipment stuff, like from Elon Musk, Starlink, internet, medicaments, and other stuff. They're still in Kyiv. They doing their job. They regulating the big city to be alive and to continue as alive.
Sergey, do you think that the NATO is going to provide air cover or impose a no-fly zone? Because, that is something your country has been asking for a very long time. But so far, NATO doesn't appear to be prepared to get into a direct conflict with Russia. And Russia has said if a no-fly zone is imposed, it will be seen as an act of war. And none of your neighbors wants to get involved.
We hope that NATO will decide finally to protect our sky and to close the sky, because they don't understand that Russians are still lying. They're using the situation, and if NATO countries will not close the sky and Russians will succeed to ruin somehow a part of Ukraine, the next target will be other European countries, because they're pretending to have the empire like before 1997. It means including Poland, Baltic states, Romania, and other countries that joined NATO after 1997. So they have to understand that. I believe that some government already understands that. Some of the NATO countries, only one thing we need to push more for the president of the NATO and for the government of the NATO, and to take this very deep, very hard decision to protect the sky. It will help a lot to defend not only Ukrainian democracy, but democracy of the whole European countries.
The question, Sergey, to you. Russia has announced a ceasefire today in 4 cities of Kyiv, Kharkiv, Sumy, and Mariupol. Is that ceasefire in effect?
No.
Are we seeing it happening?
No, they're lying, and you can see even a lot of journalists now, foreign journalists, in the area of Kyiv city, in the area of Kharkov, Chernigov, Sumy, and you can see they're reporting direct about aggression. No ceasefire, they're lying. They agreed about ceasefire for humanitarian corridors, and then they're using these humanitarian and green corridors to move forward their tanks and their troops without shooting, but then they started shooting on civilians. That's why humanitarian evacuations not possible in the cities that were agreed. That's a lie.
Hey, thank you very much for speaking to India today. We value your voice from the ground. Stay safe. I hope your family is safe. I hope your people will be safe. And I hope, peace can come very, very soon. Thank you very much. That was Sergiy Kruglyk. He's advisor to the Kyiv mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, who's also out there at this point of time.